13 personnel. Got 3 tight ends right here. Jeremy Ruckert most to the or outermost. Let's watch. Trucking people. Brees Hall's long run gasses out a little bit at the end. Obviously, isn't able to get into the end zone, but a huge play. Um, now he interestingly enough, he looks like he's blocking down to the linebacker, but because the linebacker pinches down so hard, um, he doesn't carry or he doesn't get to the linebacker. He actually checks to see if the corner, which I believe is that Trey White? Yeah, if Trey White closed ground, if Trey White closed ground, he's probably gonna flip out here to try to kick him out. But because he didn't close ground as quickly as maybe Jeremy Ruckert thought, or again just Jeremy Ruckert checked it in general, he then climbs up to the second level, finds the safety. I think that's Hyde. Finds Hyde, squares him up, gets his hand into the chest, trucks him over, and then attempts to find another guy down the field. To be like the effort there from Ruckert. Gets his hands on Poyer as well. Okay, good run. Maybe he was reading this. Maybe there's just a combo to that, but interesting how he was initially going towards that and actually checked the outside. But good blocks from Ruckert. Ruckert with his blocking he was very inconsistent. Unfortunately, I want to see more consistency from him. It felt like he either blew a guy up or completely whipped the guy because he gets a little bit over his toes. Let's see why he misses it here. 89, left side of your screen. Okay. So now we have him versus a corner. They're running one back power, right? And he's just trying to kick out anything in the to the edge right here on the edge and misses the block on Trey White. Now why? Obviously he's running at a full clip right now and trying to come into contact. So if Trey White doesn't just stay on a direct path or on Ruckert's direct path and just moves laterally like he does, Ruckert's going to be over his toes and falling over, which is exactly what happens. Ruckert, you'd like to see him in space, break down a little bit here, square up his guy, get good leverage and drive him to the outside. We don't want him sprinting into blocks and completely whiffing. He whiffs right there. Trey White makes a tackle now. Cook probably gets tackled here regardless, but obviously we're just evaluating Ruckert and Ruckert whiffs on that block. Why? A little bit over his toes in space. Want to break down a little bit more than that. Ruckert whiff. Okay, it's another whiff block. I believe he's in motion right here. Again, what happens in space with Ruckert? Another same deal to the other side here with Ruckert. And situation where running full clip in the open field, over his toes. All it takes is Trey White to get out of his direct path, sidestep him, and Jeremy Ruckert's on the turf. Why? Needs to break down. Every block does not have to be some highlight pancake block. Those are nice, but they typically are conjoined with a bad play or 2 or 3 before you come to the good play because you're whiffing like this. Break down in space, get hands on the guy, latch him, drive him outside. No reason to try to destroy guys. There's a time and a place for it. If you chip somebody who's already engaged, stuff like that, yeah, unleash hell on them. But in space, let's control our feet. Ruckert, patient, pop over toes. Okay, he's right here again. 13 personnel. I'm on a scrimmage. Yeah, so good, and then the finish is bad, right? But we like the fact that he steps down. As he steps down, he's using an overlap technique right here just to, again, show to Conklin, I'm here. I got your right side. Drag hand or overlap hand comes off as number 20 pinches down. Ruckert gets better leverage. Left hand inside, or left hand someone inside, but the leverage helps him out. Pops him, gets underneath of him. Extension, tosses him. Now the problem here is he comes and he tries to finish this block, gets over his toes and falls on his face. Again, we'd like to see him ideally wrap up. because that guy does get involved in the tackle on Brees, and who's to say it's not a strip? He comes in and punches the ball out. The littlest things can matter. So we want to see him again, stay attached to that. But really, really like the shuffle down the line of scrimmage, protecting that, what is we got? C D E gap, protecting the E gap to the right of Conklin. Nice and square again. Good timing. Comes into the block with the safety. Good leverage again. Pop him, get underneath of him, run him down. Unfortunately, and you want to see him just stick with the block a little bit better than he does at the end. But all right, Ruckert, good combo. Okay, right here, number 89. Yeah. So again, I think in like tighter spaces, he's almost better at times because his lack of overall control is minimized in tighter spaces. You know, but it's a good combo block with Conklin right here. They both take on half a man, half a man, half a man. They're both splitting him down the middle, which is great. Rucker gets nice and low, left arm, nice tight elbow angle, somewhere into the chest, lower solar plexus area. Rolls his hips up, rolls the hips up, extension, tosses him with Conklin. Now Conklin's obviously going to overtake that block at this point. So Rucker then identifies his next threat or his next target, which is Trey White, gets his hands on him. It might actually not be Trey White, and that might be Poyer. Is it 21 or 27? I think it's Poyer. But good job. Again, nice angle. Good job splitting him. Good leverage. Good extension. Running through contact. Getting to the next level. Getting hands on Poyer. Driving him back. All good. Ruckert kick out. A lot from this Bills game. Kick out. Okay. Right here. I'm on a scrimmage. And better in space. And we see him completely drive Trey White out of the play there. So he's zone blocking. They're running like a lead zone here. Rucker takes his zone step, does a good job with his feet in terms of zone step, and then staying pretty patient to the inside. He doesn't want to get overzealous and jump to the outsider here. So I like the fact that he stays inside a little bit on Trey White in terms of his approach angle towards him. Again, gets right hand inside, left hand on him that latches, or at least grips him. So we have left hand on the shoulder, which is going to drive him to the outside, and then we have the inside hand, which is for obviously creating most of the force on the actual block, and just drives through that nice tight elbow. Drives him outside, stays attached. You're gonna see it right here. Right? We like that. One more time. Right here to the bottom. All right. Down block. Now, obviously, he wasn't involved in a lot of the receiving game. And from what I remember, I watched this, probably in like February. What I remember, there wasn't a lot of like different diverse routes he ran. It was a lot of just like check downs and hooks and things into the flat. There really wasn't ins, outs. It wasn't overly complex for him. Right here in Dallas, I was here for this miserable game. Let's watch him. Okay, so again, in the less space he's in, I think the better he is. So here, they're just running. They're running counter OF, and he's blocking down on Curse. Does a good job of being quick off the ball, landing his hand inside, left hand into the ribs, extension, drives through the contact. We see a little bit of the torque right there into the back. Drive him down the line of scrimmage. Takes Curse completely out of the play. I don't care about what else happens. That's a good block by Ruckert. Okay. Pop and drive. Pop and drive right here. I'm assuming on number 30 something here. See? And he's aggressive as hell. It's for sure. Like, he has that tough mindset. We know he was fighting with Clemens or whatever it was last camp. Not to say Clemens is the toughest dude in the NFL. I think obviously he thinks he is, but I'm not sure if he actually is. But nonetheless, still he's outweighed by however many pounds there. Probably only actually like 30 or 40, but still. Good job in space. Again, a little bit aggressive here, but gets on Browns or Browns. I don't know why I want to call him Noah Brown. Gets on the defender's toes right there pretty quickly. Lowers his helmet into contact, which sometimes and even here, like he's a little bit over his toes for sure. But this is where it kind of works out. Situation where Trey White would laterally step this is a situation where another situation where this guy's not going to, doesn't move, and allows Ruckert to meet him with a lot of force and contact. Ruckert gets his hands, inside and drives him down the field. But again, this is this stuff where it's like, hey, this is where it works out. Versus Trey White, it's where it doesn't work out. So sometimes it's going to look great, and then other times it's going to whiff. It just is what it is. For me, I'm more about like consistency. I'd rather have a guy who's just going to play like a B plus all the time than a guy who's like going to be like an A some games, volatile, one rep, next rep's a D minus. Like you don't want that. Give me consistency.